At 6:42 a.m., the kettle was still warm. That was the detail that stayed with Emily Carter's sister long after everything else blurred. The kitchen light was on. Emily's phone was charging on the counter. Her black flats were lined neatly by the door, toes facing the wall, the way she always left them. But Emily herself was gone. No sign of struggle. No note. No sound anyone could clearly remember hearing. Just absence. The night before, Emily Carter, 34 years old, stood in her small suburban kitchen folding laundry. A sitcom played softly on the television. The volume was low, as usual. Nothing felt important at the time. No raised voices. No rushed movements. No goodbye hiding inside an ordinary sentence. At 9:18 p.m., Emily sent a message to her younger sister, Lauren. "I'll call you tomorrow. Don't forget." Lauren replied with a heart emoji. Emily read it. That was the last confirmed message she ever opened. Before we dive into this story, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe for more gripping real-life stories that reveal the dark truth behind cold cases. Make sure you turn the notification bell so you never miss any story and stay on top of every development. I also want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me which country you are watching from. Your support keeps the stories alive. At 10:11 p.m., a neighbor, Mark Reynolds, noticed Emily's silver Toyota pull into the driveway. The porch light came on. The front door opened. Then it closed. Emily had come home. As far as anyone knew, she never left again. People remembered Emily through small, steady details. She drank her coffee black. She hated clutter. She walked the same route every morning. She worked as an office coordinator at a local medical clinic. She paid her bills early. She never missed her Sunday evening calls with her mother, Susan Carter. Emily did not drift through life. She lived inside it carefully. She had plans. A grocery list saved on her phone. A dental appointment scheduled for the following Thursday. A birthday card half-written on the dining table for her niece. People like Emily do not usually vanish without preparation. And yet, she did. When Emily didn't arrive at work by 8:30 a.m., her supervisor called her phone. No answer. By 10 a.m., concerns settled in quietly. By noon, Lauren was standing inside Emily's house, holding her sister's phone in both hands. The kettle had been switched off. The mug sat empty in the sink. Emily's handbag hung on the back of the chair. Everything suggested she intended to come back. Everything except her absence. Police arrived that afternoon. Detective James Holloway walked through the house slowly. No broken locks. No overturned furniture. No blood. No fingerprints that didn't belong. Emily's wallet was still inside her bag. Her passport lay untouched in the bedroom drawer. Her phone had not moved since charging overnight. To investigators, the scene suggested a voluntary departure. To her family, that explanation felt impossible. That night, no one slept. Susan sat on the couch, staring at the front door. Lauren replayed the last text again and again, as if it might change. Friends drove nearby streets. Hospitals were checked. Shelters were visited. The house felt louder without Emily. Every sound carried hope that never arrived. Days turned into weeks, and the details began to ache. Emily's bed was still neatly made. Her toothbrush was dry. Her blue jacket was missing, but her heavier winter coat remained. Why one and not the other? Her bank account showed no activity, no withdrawals, no card use. Her phone never connected to another cell tower. It was as if Emily had stepped out of the world without disturbing it. Missing posters appeared on grocery store boards and street poles. Emily's face looked back at people who had passed her for years without really knowing her. Doors locked earlier. Parents walked their kids closer. The town felt thinner. Everyone asked the same question. How does someone just disappear? One security camera on Willow Lane caught something. At 10:17 p.m., headlights passed slowly near Emily's house. The footage was grainy. The angle poor. Detective Holloway watched it again and again. Was it relevant? Or just another car on an ordinary night? No one could be sure. Waiting changed the family. Susan stopped cooking full meals. Lauren slept with her phone under her pillow. Holidays passed. Birthdays arrived and left. Emily's room remained untouched. Dust settled on items she once used every day. The wall calendar stayed frozen on the month she vanished. People began to talk. Maybe she left. Maybe she met someone. Maybe she wanted a new life. But leaving requires preparation. Money. Goodbyes, even silent ones. Emily had none of these. 8 months later, a woman reported seeing someone who looked like Emily at a bus station 2 towns away. Hope surged. Cameras were checked. Timelines reviewed. It wasn't her. Hope receded again, slower this time. 1 year passed. Then another. The case grew cold, not because it mattered less, but because there was nothing left to hold on to. No body. No crime scene. No proof of life or death. Legally, Emily Carter was still alive. Emotionally, everyone remained suspended. Some evenings, the kitchen light is still turned on. Out of habit. Out of hope. Emily's room remains exactly as it was. A space waiting for a person who may never return. 2 years after Emily vanished, Detective Holloway received a call. Not from a witness. Not from the family. From the department's records unit. A file had been misfiled during the first week of the investigation. A file containing footage from another camera, one that had never been reviewed. A camera positioned behind Emily's house. The timestamp read 10:26 p.m., 15 minutes after Emily was last seen entering her home. And on that footage, there was movement. The footage was only 27 seconds long. Detective James Holloway watched it alone in the dim records room, long after the rest of the station had gone quiet. The camera faced the narrow space behind Emily Carter's house. A stretch of gravel. A wooden fence. A side gate most people barely noticed. At 10:26 p.m., the motion sensor activated. At first, there was nothing. Then, a shadow moved. The image was grainy, almost hesitant, as if the camera itself was unsure of what it was capturing. A figure appeared briefly near the side gate. Not running. Not stumbling. Walking. The person paused, looked back toward the house, then stepped out of frame. The gate never opened fully. It closed softly behind them. No face was visible. No clear features. Just movement where there was not supposed to be any. Until that moment, investigators believed Emily never left her house after 10:11 p.m. Now, that's certainly fractured. Someone had been behind the house 15 minutes later. The question was simple. Who? And the answer was anything but. Detectives returned to the Carter home with new eyes. The side gate showed faint where near the latch. Nothing broken. Nothing obvious. But it had been used. The gravel path bore marks that had long since blended back into the ground. 2 years too late. The list of items Emily left behind took on new meaning. Her phone. Her wallet. Her keys. If she had left willingly, she had done so without the things people instinctively grab. If she had left unwillingly, she had gone quietly. Too quietly. Detective Holloway returned to Mark Reynolds, the neighbor who had seen Emily come home that night. This time, Holloway asked different questions. Did you hear anything later? Mark hesitated, then said something he hadn't mentioned before. Around 10:30 p.m., he thought he heard a gate close. He hadn't thought it mattered. It was a quiet street. Gates closed all the time. He went back inside. Mark replayed that sound for weeks after the interview. A small noise. A normal noise. The kind people ignore every day. He wondered how many lives are changed because of sounds no one pays attention to. The camera didn't show a face, but it showed timing. And timing pointed investigators towards someone Emily knew. Someone who had access. Someone who wouldn't raise alarm. A man Emily had mentioned casually weeks before her disappearance. Not a boyfriend. Not an ex. Just a name that surfaced in conversation. Daniel Brooks. A contractor who had done repair work on the fence months earlier. Someone familiar with the side gate. Daniel Brooks denied everything. He had no criminal record. No clear motive. His phone showed no location data tying him to the house that night. Circumstantial suspicion filled the space where evidence should have been. The kind of suspicion that never makes it to court. When Lauren and Susan Carter were shown the footage, they said nothing at first. Susan stared at the screen. Lauren held her breath. They asked the same question at different times. Is that her? No one could say yes. No one could say no. The footage changed everything and nothing at the same time. Emily might have left the house. She might not have. Someone was there. But who they were, and why they came, remained unanswered. The case was reopened, then stalled again. Time did what it always does. It moved on without permission. Susan grew older. Lauren moved houses, but not on. Emily's room stayed intact. The kitchen light still came on some nights. There is no proof that Emily Carter is dead. No body. No official declaration. There is only a moment captured by a forgotten camera. A shadow. A gate closing. A life that did not return to itself. Some disappearances shout. This one whispered. And in that whisper lives the hardest truth of all. That knowing something happened is not the same as knowing what. That answers do not always arrive whole. That sometimes the only thing left behind is a question that refuses to fade. Somewhere, a moment exists that no camera captured. A choice. An interruption. A silence too deep to record. And until that moment is found, Emily Carter remains where she has always been since that night. Between the light left on and the door that never opened again. Not gone. Not found. Just missing. And the question that never stopped following the case was this. If the woman on the porch that night was Emily Carter, who was the person who walked away from her house 15 minutes later? And where did Emily go? Join the conversation in the comment and subscribe to this channel for more gripping stories.